What is good, guys? I am back. Welcome back to my channel. I just want to start out with a quick apology that I've been extremely inactive on YouTube. I try and get at least one video a week, sometimes two if I can swing it. But yeah, stuff happened. I am preparing for my first VGC tournament of Sword and Shield. It's just a little local tournament, nothing too crazy. I won't get any points towards Worlds or it's not like a major, but it's my first tournament, and I am a VGC player at heart. I have been since Gen 5, and that's my main game mode. And I'm still learning singles a little bit, as you can tell by my record. I am currently 1-2 when I'm recording this video. So let's see. I'm going up against Luke this week, and let's just get right into the team. So let's go down to BJL Season 5, and here we go. So this is the team versus my man Luke, week 4. Starting off with Driplim. Well, actually, I should probably give you guys the rundown on his team. So, looking at his team, he's got Toxtricity, Jellicent, Indeedee, the male version, which means it's faster and more offensive. Hitmonlee, Shiftry, Berserker, Tyranitar, Mamoswine, Accelgor, and Dusclops. Now, you look at his team, you realize his team is like a million times faster than mine. I totally get that. And the sad part is, the sad part is, I don't have anything for Tyranitar except Scrafty. That's like my only switch in. And maybe physically defensive type null. That's my only switch into this thing. It is so tough for me to handle on this team. Scrafty is a pretty good check though, so I had to bring Scrafty. That was my #1 priority on this team. And he has a lot of hazard potential with Tyranitar, Mamoswine, and Accelgor, stuff like that. And then he's got Willow support on the Dusclops and Jellicent, and he's got hard-hitting attackers such as Shiftry, Hitmonlee, and Toxtricity. But don't sleep on that Indeedee either, because Scarf Indeedee under Psychic Surge is a lot more powerful than you think. So let's just get right into the team. First, I'm running my man Chinese New Year. I actually did not nickname any of my Pokemon before this battle. It's so I nicknamed Reuniclus, but that's it. I had to, because like he's the MVP, and that's the only one I actually remembered to do when I was building this team. So quite unfortunate, but I got Drifblim here, physically defensive. I think it's the exact same set that I ran against Rob, because it's similar. You know, Tyranitar and then like Sand Excadrill, they're pretty similar, I guess you would say, offensively. And they both get shut down by this Drifblim, so I figured it would be great to have, since it just wrecks my entire team, and I'm talking about Tyranitar. So pretty standard set right there with the Willow Hex and Strength Sap, along with Tail and support if I need it. Next is Scrafty, just very, very simple set. Fake Out, Knock Off, Drain Punch, those are pretty much the essentials, and I'm running Head Smash for the whatchamacallit. So I can hit Accelgor a little bit more if he has Sticky Hold, and so I can hit Toxtricity a little bit better, even though it's, you know, if I knock it off, Head Smash will be doing more. So, and I'll be getting recovery with Drain Punch if I need it. Next, Life Orb, Dragapult. This outspeeds, what is it? I think it's Scarf Toxtricity by 1 point. And I will never outspeed max speed Accelgor. As you can see, its base speed is 145, so I will never outspeed it. So there's no point in me EVing for max speed. I just need to lower it down to the point where I can outspeed the next fastest thing, since I'll never outspeed it. So, yep, running physical this week: Dragon Dance, Dragon Tart, Sucker Punch, U-Turn, pretty standard stuff. Piloswine here for the Stealth Rocks and the priority on the Ice Shard. And I'm running Charm because if I switch this in on something, right, and he switches into, let's say, I don't know, for example, he would probably switch in maybe Shiftry onto an Earthquake, I could go for Charm right after and be in a good position to switch into my Reuniclus or Rotom Heat or something along those lines. I just brought Charm for the tech. He probably will not expect it. So yeah, that's a thing. Next we got the MVP. Trick Room, Psychic, Energy Ball, Focus Blast. Psychic, Energy Ball, Focus Blast hits his entire team. Let's just go down the line. Psychic, Energy Ball. We could probably go for Focus Blast here. Psychic, Focus Blast, Focus Blast, Focus Blast, Focus Blast, Psychic, Psychic. Hits everything. This is meant to clean up the game if I could. Like late game maybe, or if I get into a good position where I can set up on the snap, I don't know. Maybe on the Excelgor, if he's not offensive, I could potentially do something there. And if he's low, like down to a sash so he can't final gambit me, this is meant to be a late Trick Room sweeper. And last but not least, definitely not least, we got Rotom here. My defogger for this week, I'm running max speed because I don't think he'll expect it. And just simple Will-O-Wisp because I need to shut down that Tyranitar, and I outspeed Tyranitar unless he's Scarf. And getting burns on stuff like Hitmonlee, Shift Tree, stuff like that would not suck. So, yep. Alright guys, that's the team. Take one final look at it. And yeah, let's just get right into the match. What's good? I'm back with the replay of my Week 4 match in the Season 5 of the BJL. So you already know we're in this boy. Game plan here, wasn't really sure what I could have done. He didn't bring a ground type, so that means that Volt switching is going to be premier here. I knew he would bring that Tyranitar. That Tyranitar is a huge threat. Jellicent kind of walls me too for the most part, and then Shift Tree is solid for the Sucker Punch, and yeah, so let's just get right into this boy. I'm gonna go on the normal because it probably should be super pretty straightforward, honestly. So here I lead Scrafty because I figured he'd want to lead that Tyranitar with the rock, so I just go straight for Drain Punch. Get some damage off on something coming in. If he goes into Jellicent, worst case scenario, he burns me and I get the knockoff on him. So he actually just goes straight for Bug Buzz. He turns out he was Specs, so I get the knockoff and take out the Excelgor, which is a huge threat to my Reuniclus because that would be very, very detrimental to my strategy. So I go into Drifblim on the Hitmonlee because I thought he was gonna go for like high jump kick or something. He goes for Fake Out, trying to get that normal gem boost. Go for the Will-O-Wisp. He's not doing a lot to me. Just go straight for Strength Sap. Get all the way back up to full. And I actually just don't expect him to switch or stay in here, so I just go straight for the Hex. Turns out he is Berry. Smart on his part because the Dragapult or Draco would be doing, or I'm sorry, Dragapult will be doing a lot. I just go straight for the Willow and he crits me with the Shadow Ball, so that's quite unfortunate, but that's okay. Because then I can just go straight into Scrafty and click knockoff. Scrafty does a lot for me here. I expect him to go for a fighting move here, so I just go straight into my Reuniclus since he outspeeds. Smart switch on my part, I suppose. He goes for Throat Chop, and I go for the Focus Blast and take out the Hitmonlee, just in case you want to switch into Shift Tree or something. So I fully expect the Sucker Punch to come out here, but he doesn't actually go for it. He goes straight for Throat Chop. Smart play on his part. So I just go straight on the road, try and get a good momentum changer. Or not momentum changer. I want to get good momentum. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't speak today. Anyway, so I go into Rotom to try and get into a good position so I can Volt Switch out because he probably will not stay in. So I end up just going for the Overheat and he switches into Tyranitar. Good switch on his part. Going to Scrafty for the Intimidate, obviously, because this thing completely walls Tyranitar. I can go straight for Drain Punch, but I expect him to go into Jellicent here, and he does. I almost went for knockoff there, but I just couldn't risk it because Scrafty meant so much to me, and Earthquake would be doing a lot. So I go for the knockoff here, take out the Jellicent, but if I would have clicked knockoff here, I would have had a little bit more health on my Scrafty, which would have been alright, I guess. He goes for Gleam. I didn't expect him to have Gleam. That's my fault. Go straight into my Dragapult. I was going to drop a Draco here, but then I realized, I'm not, oh my gosh, I'm not even special. What am I talking about? Hold on, let me pause this really quick. I didn't even remember my own set. That is ridiculous. I was going to go in here and click Dragon Dance, but then I realized that if he stays in and goes for Gleam again, I'm probably not going to live a Sucker Punch from Shift Tree. So I decided that I needed to go for Sucker Punch there since he didn't have the Psychic Terrain up, which is huge. And I almost didn't bring Sucker Punch on this thing because of the Psychic Terrain, because priority moves like that don't work in the Psychic Terrain. So I actually remember that this time. I think in a season before in another league, I was playing in a doubles league and Psychic Terrain was up and I went for Sucker Punch with something and then it didn't work and I ended up losing the game over it. So I actually remembered it this time, thank the Lord. So anyway, Went for Sucker Punch, take out the Indeedee, so he goes into Shift Tree. I'm fully expecting him to go for Sucker Punch here, but he just goes straight for Leech Seed. I totally could have had a kill on the Shift Tree with the U-turn. But I didn't, unfortunately, because I thought Sucker Punch was going to kill me. So, anyway, he goes straight for Crunch, gets that critical hit and the defense drop, which is so unfortunate. With the Leech Seed, that's probably worst case scenario for me right now because that doesn't kill. And right here, I go for Dragon Darts. I almost U-turned, but there was no point since Rotom was so low, and then I didn't want to go straight into Reuniclus on this thing just in case it didn't kill. So I go for Sucker Punch here, thinking that he has Sucker Punch, and he goes straight for Throat Chop and kills me. So right here, I'm thinking to myself, is there any way I win this game? Because I went for Sucker Punch since I'm faster, and then after that, I was going to DD on his Sucker Punch. And I just realized now, if I U-turned 1 out of 2 of those times that I had the potential to do so, I would have won this game because Shift Tree would have been gone. And I would have taken the win with the KO over Tyranitar. So, because he just doesn't have Sucker Punch, and I thought he did, me over-predicting his set, I'm about to lose this game. I go into Rotom hoping that I'm like 1 HP to live on the rocks, and I don't. The only way I win this game right here is if I hit this Focus Blast and kill it, and it will kill. He goes for the Throat Chop, and it kills my Reuniclus, and I fall to Luke 1-0. This is the 3rd week in a row I have completely over-predicted, and it has lost me the game. I am very, very disappointed in myself because I thought I brought a very, very solid team, and there were a couple times where I over-predicted and sometimes where I under-predicted where it was just an obvious switch. Like, for example, if I would have knocked off instead of Drain Punch when he switched into Jellicent a couple turns back, I would have killed the Jellicent, KO'd the Jellicent, and I would have had about 20%, 25% more health to myself, which would have let me live, if I'm not mistaken, I think I live a Timid, Max Special Attack, Dazzling Gleam with Assault Vest if I'm above 50%. I think I would have been there. I'm not quite sure what the roll would have been. I didn't actually do the calc, but I'm pretty sure I would have lived 1 if I was over 50%, which is just, it sounds so absurd, but that thing is extremely bulky. So, and even if I didn't, it really wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Another thing too, I got kind of unlucky in this game. I got crit with the Shadow Ball, and I would have lived with I would have had my Drifblim as, availability if I wouldn't have got crit with the Shadow Ball from Jellicent, and I would have Hexed there, and it would have KO'd the Jellicent 100% of the time. And I would have had it for, Shift Tree, maybe even Tyranitar. I could have gotten some burns off. I could have gotten a burn off on this thing, which could have won me the game. So that crit was very unfortunate. And then he crit me again with the Crunch and got the defense drop on my Piloswine. And I was in position to kill that Tyranitar there. And that also put more damage on my Dragapult because of the rocks. And that was 2 switches. So an extra 25% on there. I don't know if that would have mattered or not. I really don't. But overall, I got kind of unlucky, but that's no excuse. I did overpredict a lot in this game, and I'm very disappointed that I did so. But Luke played amazing for the most part, and then he didn't bring Sucker Punch, which completely faked me out, and he won the game. Not solely because of it, but it had a lot to do with it. So, a good game to my good friend Luke. I've known him since about Season 2. He was in the D League, and we promoted him, and I'm very glad he did. He's such a nice guy. He gets along with everybody just fine. Sends funny memes. He's just an overall good guy. So, anyway, that was my Season 5 Week 4 match and team recap against Luke. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and it's been Archery, guys. Peace out.